Shanta Sharanam Prapadye. It is pure divine grace that makes a ripe person, a mature person, a true devotee come in contact with a Brahmanishta, an enlightened sage. Even the Upanishad says such contact of two divinely destined beings, it's a great wonder. Asharyavat pashyati Asharyo vakta kushalosya labdha asharyo jnata kushalanusishta. The teacher is an asharya, is a wonder. So too is the recipient, the disciple is also a great wonder because he is able to listen and he is able to grasp the teaching. It is not merely listening. Outwardly, you have to listen. Inwardly, you have to recognize the implied meaning of Mahavakya. Here Krishna is the teacher. And the disciple is a great devotee. Bhaktam ekantinam, Bhagavata says, is ekanta bhakta. He is a very pure devotee. Hence when Uddhava goes and falls at the feet of Krishna and asks for teaching, Krishna says, all my teaching, everything is for you. Here I give you the teaching. Whatever you are receiving through the senses, whatever you understand through the intellect, whatever the mind is brooding and thinking, know that all that is falsehood. It's the beginning of the teaching. I am just briefing again. Yadidam manasa vacha chakshurbyam Shravanadibihi Nashwaram Grihyamanam cha Vidhi Maya Manomayam. It is Maya Manomayam. Here we get a clue of true Vedanta. In the very beginning, Krishna says, whatever you think, whatever you feel through the senses, it is not true. Then you have to find out some other center where the true experience happens. Hence, you control the senses, make the mind quiet, absorb the jnanam and let it ripen within you as vijnanam, as anubhuti, as experience. And then you roam about free in this world as a friend of all. This was the teaching given by the Lord in the very beginning. And now we have reached the 11th chapter. I am just taking some portion from the 12th chapter in the beginning. It is Bhagavatam. Some of the devotees who have come are all newcomers. They will be wondering what is the subject. So it's Bhagavatam. the last portion of Bhagavatam, 11th canto, and it is full of highest Advaita mixed with Bhakti. Because Bhagavan gives a clue to Uddhava. He says, Uddhava, without Bhakti Yoga and without contact with saints, Satsanga, there is no other path. Prayena, Bhakti Yogena, Satsangena vina Uddhava, Nopayo vidyate sadhriyam prayanam hi satam aham. It's a great thing which Krishna is revealing now. He says, whatever may be your path, you may be a karma yogi, you may be a jnana yogi, you may be a raja yogi, but bhakti should be always there behind. Bhakti is not a special path. Bhakti should be there behind every path. Devotion should be there behind every path. Whether it is devotion to Bhagavan or bhakti to Guru, that bhakti element must be there. It makes the whole Purna. After saying this, Krishna says, all of our spiritual aspirants also will be wondering, what is the easiest way to attain? That is what most of the people think. In Tiruvannamalai and of course Rishikesh, Haridwar also we know. During the time September, October, November, there will be many boats kept. And there will be teachers announcing, you can come and join this course, 1 week you will have self-realization. I don't know what self-realization. Krishna says, he also says, very simple. Why 1 week? You don't need 1 week. 1 wink of the eye. That too is more. You can attain it like this. Provided you are in a very mature state to receive the teaching, and the teacher is like a fire of jnanam. When this contact happens, sakshatkara comes. Just like a wick that is wet with oil is taken near the fire, it just catches hold of the flame. Like that, when a pure devotee goes to a master, he gets realization. One of the great devotees of Ramana Maharshi was Muruganar. One journalist asked him, Swami, how much time, what sadhana did you do to get realization? He said, sadhana? My Guru did not give me time even to close my eyes. Before I could close my eyes, the thing is over. But after that, how they lived absorbed in that state. Okay, so Krishna says, Uddhava, you are my friend. You are my devotee. You are my servant, Dasa. Hence, I will reveal to you one of the greatest spiritual secrets. Sugopyam athaidat paramam guhyam shrinvato yadunandana. Paramam guhyam means very, very hidden. That is why they call it as mysticism. It's shrouded with mystery. You don't know how people attain God. Sugopyam api vakshyami. Even though it is very hidden, I will tell you, because you are a devotee, you are my friend, you are my companion. Why only to such people it can be revealed? No. Because when there is love to Guru, the truth just walks into him. Naturally it gets transmitted. Teaching is also just a means. Just the teacher is there, the disciple's bhakti is there, the anubhuti just comes to him. Hence Krishna says, I will tell you. Narodhayati mam yogaha, a big list is given. One does not attain jnanam sometimes even through yoga. Na sankyam dharma yevacha, na swadhyayastapastyago, neshtapurtam na dakshina. I am chanting some verses now. They are all a big list which Krishna says, even through all these methods one might not attain. But what I am going to reveal is a sure path. Na rodhayati mam yogo na sankyam dharma yevacha. Those who are familiar with all these technical terms, they will know. Na swadhyayastapastyago neshtapurtam na dakshinam vratani yajnaha chandamsi tirthani niyamayamaha yatha varundhe satsangaha sarvasangapaho himam. Krishna says, sometimes you might not attain through yoga or studying books or some self initiated sadhana. But the surest path is contact with those who have attained. Satsangena. Once you get contact with great sages, you will surely attain it. Even demons have attained. There also Krishna gives a big list who all have attained. When spiritual aspirants go to a teacher, they will always ask, who have attained, who have attained. So here he says, Daiteya, Yatudhanaha, Mrigaha, Khagaha. A big list. Asuras have attained. Very great example in Bhagavata devotee. Prahlada. How he attained? When he was in the womb of his mother, in the Garbhapatra, when his mother was pregnant, she had the company of sage Narada. And Narada simply transmitted this knowledge to that child in the mother's body. The child, the brain has not developed to receive, to understand any language, but the presence of sage was absorbed by the baby, and crystal clear awareness that I am not the body, I am the pure self. With that awareness, with the bliss of the self, he was born. Hence he was called Prahlada. Prahlada means blissful one. Simply by contact of that great sage, the sage taught Kayadu, who was pregnant. He taught her that the body is not the Atma. The body takes birth, it grows, it decays, it dies. But something is there which is untouched by the body, which is the pure self, pure awareness. She slept. When this teaching was happening, to whom he was giving this teaching, that lady was sleeping because she was pregnant, she was weak, she was not able to receive it directly, she just dozed. But from within, the baby was perhaps in the form of an embryo, or perhaps 2 months or 3 months, we don't know. But that infant received that knowledge, And he was born. After birth also he had no tapas, no sadhana, nothing. Because constantly he was abiding in that state. His father asked, where is Narayana? Where is Krishna? Where is Vishnu? And Prahlada said, where is he not? He is all the elements are his forms. Very beautiful shloka. It says, Tvam vayuragnir avanir viyad ambumatraha pranendriyani hridayam chidanugrahascha sarvam tvameva. O Bhagavan, you are everything. Prahlada says you are everything. Not only all the outer things, but this body, this mind, this ego, and the consciousness behind it, everything you are. And nothing exists other than you. I could not find any element which is not divine. This was Prahlada's standpoint. Hence, he was always peaceful, unaffected by the torture that was inflicted on him by his father. Nothing touched him. He remained unperturbed, always peaceful, shanta, tranquil. So he is given as the first example of a small boy attaining divine experience simply by the contact with a sage. This happens. Even this Bhagavatam came to us like that. Because Parikshit was the listener, sage Shuka was teaching. A small boy came there and sat there. He received the entire teaching. His name was Suta, Ugrashravas. And after the Bhagavatam, Shukacharya blessed him and said, this boy will be a great teacher of Bhagavatam. Because he has received everything. So here, Mrigaha, Khagaha, many animals have become devotees. Sometimes we don't know who is residing inside the body of an animal. A dog, a cat, a cow, a bird. All these examples can be given. There was a cow with Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, and it's a very well known story. Her name was Lakshmi. When she was a calf, she came there with her mother, and Maharshi named her as Lakshmi. And she was so attached to him. When they were looking after the cow in the town, this calf alone will run to ashram about 2 kilometers to be with the sage without the mother cow. And later on they brought them to ashram. Actually, this is destiny, because the man who brought the cow and the calf, he was a very poor man. And he was staying about 60 kilometers away from Trivandrum. And he had a dream in which Maharshi came to him and told him, I want your cow and the calf. And this poor man, he did not think twice. He just brought the cow and calf and left it in ashram. They said, it is your livelihood, you take it back. He said, no. Swami has asked me, I have brought it. I will not take money also. And thus that cow and calf came there, and that calf was named Lakshmi, and she became so attached with the sage. And when she grew up as a cow also, every morning she used to come to Maharshi, put her face in his tummy, and he will just fondle her and say, oh Lakshmi. And sometimes she used to stand still. And one day, one devotee asked Bhagavan, this cow is so still. Maharshi said, she is in samadhi. So even in Vrindavana we see when Krishna was playing the flute, so many cows, they were all in trance, in samadhi. So animal body also sometimes great souls happen. Sometimes very beautiful things happen. In Ramayana there is an incident. We know the story when Sita was abducted by Ravana. Ravana was taking her away. Then a bird, Jatayu, a very powerful bird, that bird tried to protect Sita, Mother Sita, and fought with Ravana. And in that battle, Ravana just cut his wings and he was about to die lying there. Then Rama is coming in search of Sita. Very, very touching scene. He is just screaming, Sita, Sita. Whom to ask in forest? He is asking sun god. Who will give me a clue where Sita has gone? He could not find her. Aditya bholoka krita kritajna. He calls sun. Oh, you know everyone's activities. Where is Sita? Then suddenly he hears a very sick murmur from the bush. There he finds this bird. And this bird said, O Rama, you are searching for your wife. You are searching like a Ayurvedic physician who searches for herbs. You are searching her in the forest. Yam oshadhimiva ayushman anveshasi mahavane Sasita mamacha pranaha ravanena ubhayam hritam. Ravana just took away my life and your life. He took away Sita, he took away my life also. Then Rama got the clue and he just hugged the bird, Jatayu. In his hand the bird died, and there Lord says, he is respectable like my father. He is respectable, holy like great sages. So I will do the cremation for him, and with my power I declare that he will attain the higher worlds reserved for those who have performed Agnihotra, Ahita Agni, Samskara. And there he tells Lakshmana, his brother, don't think Mahatmas, great beings are there only in human body. There are great beings in every creature, every body. Sarvatra khalu drishyante sadhavo dharmacharinaha. Shuraha sharanyaha saumitre tiryagyonigateshvapi. Even in the animals, even in the birds. So you have to respect every creature. You have to respect every creature. You don't know in which body Bhagavan will manifest. So this, here Bhagavan says sometimes you will find sages in birds. In Yoga Vasishta, Vasishta goes in search of a sage, he finds the Kakabusundi. He was in the form of a crow. And from that crow he gets great teachings. So many birds, so many animals, Bhagavata itself lists that Gajendra, that elephant, was a great devotee. All the birds and animals, those who stay with sages, we don't know about all the monkeys, they are inside the ashram. In those forms, we don't know who are coming. So we need to respect everyone. So this is the secret here. Krishna says, they all attained that state through satsanga. Bahavo matpadam praptaha tvashtra kayadhavadayaha. One of the greatest example is Vritra, a mighty asura. He had contact with sages, as a Vidyadhara, with Parameshwara and Sankarshana. He attained the highest state of bhakti. So, Bhagavan said, Satsanga is the easiest method. How can one attain simply through Satsanga, through contact with sages? The reason is, when you do some sadhana, there will be the doership. Even though you will behave very humble, still the doership will be hiding inside. I am doing, I am the doer. And you get some joy of meditation, you feel, today I have attained something very great. And tomorrow nothing happens, you become depressed. This happens to every seeker. And you strive to attain that happiness. And one day suddenly it comes, you feel so happy. Next day nothing. This coming and going happens. That is why Ramana Maharshi says, Arunachala, take me beyond this coming and going. This going and coming. Pokku varavu illa puduveli. Because this coming and going is all mental. The self is something which is constant. And we have to go beyond the mind and recognize our real nature. Once you recognize your real nature, you know that it is not the body, it is not the mind. It is pure, ever free consciousness. There neither bondage exists nor even freedom, because the very nature of the self is freedom. Nitya mukta. Baddho mukta iti vyakhyam gunato mena vastutaha. Actually, there is neither bondage or freedom, because who is bound? When you feel that you are bound, who is bound? I. And who is this I? And you inquire, who is this I? What is the real nature of this I? The I disappears and something shines forth which is ever free, eternally free. That is your real nature. Shoka, moho, sukam, dukkam. In the mind, sometimes you have shoka, grief. Sometimes delusion. Sometimes pleasure. Sometimes pain. Dehapatti. This embodiment, this feeling of body. Bhagavan says this is Uddhava, all Maya. These chapters, this teaching are all very profound, as I told yesterday. But it is pure nectar. If you take it really inward, the highest freedom happens. Here Krishna says, you know the self, realize the self, then you know that you are never bound. When Swami Vivekananda was talking on Jnana Yoga, and he was throwing shells of spiritual fire. It was like explosives. Constantly was declaring, Tattvamasi, you are Brahman. You are not the body. You are the pure self. You are never bound. Then one girl, she stood up and said, Sir, are you hypnotizing us? She asked. Then Swamiji said, my dear child, there is no need for hypnosis because you are already in delusion. I am only dehypnotizing you, waking you up. You are dreaming. The dream, you don't know when it started. Anadi mayaya suptaha. And the Guru comes and says, Uttishtata, wake up, wake up. And when you wake up, you know, you come to recognize that there is no body, there is no mind for me, there is no ego. I am the pure Satchidananda, the ever free self. This is a constant song of Bhagavatam. When one becomes absolutely free, even when he is in the body, he is not bound. Such a state exists. This itself is the message. When you live in this world with so much sorrow, so much pain, suddenly this message falls in your ears that you can attain such a state here. That is why the Shastras say a Mukta Purusha, a free soul have to travel. The travel is not for simply giving teaching, it is to give darshan. When devotees see such a person, they know such a state exists. They have to see that state of absolute freedom from body manifested in some person. In some body you see that bodilessness. It looks contradictory, right? You are seeing the body, but you find that the person is free of body. You see he is embodied, but you know that he is bodiless. All the great sages, after attainment, they were available. And the availability is not to simply teach, but just to give that darshanam. Adehasto dehastopi na dehastaha. Bhagavatam says, he is in the body, but he is not in the body. The body will have all its problems, troubles, but the jnani is absolutely free. This teaching you study in some book, it might intellectually appeal perhaps, but it can have real impact in you only when you see an enlightened being in that state. Where you find, oh, it is possible. Such a state exists. When you see that, the seed is sown. That is actually Diksha. Such darshanam is real Diksha. When you see a sage, the seed is sown. See, many people came to Swami Shivananda Maharaj to see him. Many went to Swami Tapovan Maharaj in Uttarakashi. During that period, Shivananda Maharaj was here and Purushottomananda Swamiji was there in the Vasishta Guha. And Tapovan Maharaj was there in Uttarakashi, and many great Mahatmas were there. So when you come here, many people came here only to have a darshanam. Even Swami Chinmayananda, he came to Rishikesh actually to write against all saints as a journalist. He himself has told that. He wanted to expose the saints. For that only he came to Shivananda Ashram. But when he met Swami Gurudev Shivanji Maharaj, he was completely transformed. When devotee came to Ramana Maharshi, he wrote, I came to conquer him, but I was vanquished. In that failure was my victory. It was exactly like that. Balakrishnan Menon, Balakrishnan Nair, he came, Balakrishnan Menon, that was his name, he came to write against sannyasis, but he ultimately ended up as a sannyasi. And his own life, the seed was sown long, long back. When he was a child, a great sage used to visit his home very often. His name was Chatambi Swami, and he used to take this boy and speak in some unknown language. All the family people used to ask, what are you speaking? It is between us. And later on, when he was wandering about, he came to Tiruvannamalai also to see Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. There also he was very, very, not as a believer or devotee he came, with doubt he came. And when he saw Maharshi's eyes were closed. He was sitting as if he was sleeping. And when this youngster looked at his face, the eyes opened. He says the eyes popped open. And they looked directly into me. I felt he knew everything about me. And for some time there was a state. Then I shook myself, declaring he is a hypnotist, and walked out. After so many years, then he came to Shivanji Maharaj, then went to Uttarakashi to Tapovan Maharaj. See the power of satsanga. If you want to study Vedanta, you can study online. That is what people are doing, right? It is a jada padartha, but for studying it is okay, online. But when you have to experience it, you need the direct presence of a master. An enlightened sage has to, his very breath speaks Brahma Vidya. That is why they use a mystical language. They say, he breathed it. Breathe into you. So, here Bhagavan says, the real nature of the self is beyond the body. As we said yesterday, the body never says the I. And the I within you is ever free, never touched by the body or mind. It is Nitya Mukta. Once you recognize what it is, even while you are in the body, you are Adehastha. No body. Ashariram. In that Jivan Mukta state, the sage wanders about free because his dream is no more. Yes, woken up from the dream, and he moves about in this world unaffected by anything. Here, a very beautiful sloka is there. Sometimes, when we live in the world, we want everyone to be perfect. And we find fault with people. If we find some good person, we praise him. Something bad, we start speaking ill about him. And our mind starts disturbing. It becomes disturbed. All the meditation is gone. A person who is longing to attain that state, one who wants to maintain that yoga sthiti, he should neither praise nor insult. Very beautiful sloka. We can keep it in rote. We can keep it in the mind. You can write this sloka because it's very, very important, especially when we stay with many people. Nastuvita. Nastuvita means don't do stuti, don't praise. Na nindeta. Don't insult. Don't find fault. Nastuvita. Na nindeta. Okay, I will not praise or I will not criticize. But if I find people doing good, I will feel good. If I find people doing wrong, I will feel they are wrong. What to do? People will be like that, but you should not feel it. Kurvataha sadhu asadhuva. Somebody is doing something wrong. Here this Avaduta says, just look at it and go. Don't insult. Don't criticize. This is for a very serious aspirant. This is not for newspaper person. This is not for some journalist. If you are a sadhaka, if you don't want to get involved with the world, keep the mind always in meditation. This is like a tablet which you have to take. He says, neither praise nor criticize anyone. You forget all other teaching, you take this alone. You will have peace of mind. It's very difficult. Parasvabhava karmani na prashamset na garhayet. Neither praise nor criticize another person's nature. Vishwam ekatmakam pashyan. Look at the entire world as one Atman, one self. No duality. Nastuvita na nindeta. Kurvataha sadhu asadhuva. They will be doing something great things. Don't praise. Because your mind will get colored by that. So don't get attached to it. And somebody is doing something wrong. You read newspaper for what? Who all are doing wrong things in the world? No newspaper or no internet, Google News will tell you noble things. Mostly they will tell you wrong things. This is news. So don't go into such things. Vadato gunadoshabhyam varjita samadrung munihi. The muni, the sage, is a samadrik. He is not affected by any phenomenon that is happening around him. Things will be happening around you. You cannot stop. You are going to meditate, that is good. But how can you make the entire town as yogis? See, you are meditating, nobody should disturb you. In a house, the husband called his wife and his children and told them, I am going to meditate. No noise. They found it a great entertainment. The moment he started meditating, the lady took a big vessel and put it down. And next moment you can imagine what will happen there. Uproar, no meditation. So much noise, so much fight. She said, see, with such a mind you are going to meditate? She will ask. This continued for many days. And then he know what he did? He took all the vessels from the house, kept it inside a locker and closed, then will sit for meditation. No vessel putting down. And then his grandson, he took some firecrackers and started blowing. What kind of meditation can he do? So, okay, I am just telling you this humorous incident. But see, the world will be constantly supplying you something or the other to disturb you. You cannot expect a congenial atmosphere around you. Things will be happening. But you should find a method not to be affected by anything. Samadarshitva. That is what Gita says, Samadarshi, always same-sighted. Whatever you may see, you no more get disturbed. The mind remains calm. Na kuryad na vaded kinchid. Na dhyayet sadhu asadhuva. Atma Ramo Anayavritya Vicharet Jadavan Munihi. This is all PhD or beyond that. Highest teaching. This teaching is given for a person who has known, after listening the Upanishad Vedanta for some time, he has done lot of manana and he has understood that I am not the body, I am the Atma. Asangoham, 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 punah punaham. Sachidananda rupoham, ahameva ahamapyaya. I am that Shuddha Chaitanya. That awareness has dawned in him. With that knowledge, he no more works in the world, he no more speaks anything, he not even allows his mind to think about anything, whether good or bad. His attention is always in his real nature, the pure self, Satchidananda. If that state does not happen, mere book knowledge is no use. Shabda Brahmani Nishnataha na Nishnayat Pareyadi Shramastasya Shramafalaha Hyadhenum Ivarakshataham. So you should have jijnasa, the inquisitiveness to know the self, Atman. And once you know your real nature, that Advaita Atma Tattva, then you remove all the dualistic feeling. Evam jijnasaya apohya Nanatva Brahmam, the delusion born of Nanatva, plurality. You remove it. Nanatva Brahmam Atmani Uparameta Virajam Manomayarpya Sarvage. The mind remains in that Nirvikalpa Sthiti, in the all-pervading Ishvara Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa. Now you become totally free. If you cannot do that, listen to Bhagavat Katha, do some upasana, some japa, and be always in satsanga. Oh Uddhava, you will attain it. Some of the stories that I know, only those stories comes to my mind. When Ramana Maharshi was in Arunachala hill, the Virupaksha cave, a boy got associated with the sage. He was only 9 years old. His name was Sundareshwara. Later on, he grew up as a scholar, a Vedic scholar, Sanskrit scholar, as a teacher. Then also he was very devoted to the sage. He was called the shadow of the sage. He was like that. You can see him walking behind Maharshi even in many videos. T.K. Sundareshwaraya. At a particular stage, he felt, I am having contact with Maharshi, but I am not in that state. So till I attain that state, I will not come to see Bhagavan. This is all human mind things like that. He took a resolve that I will remain in my home and do sadhana. I will do meditation and I will attain this stage and then come. So he was staying in his house, trying to meditate, nothing was happening. Days went, months changed. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. About 90 days passed. And after few more days, he felt so restless. The imagination that he had, he will grow up in sadhana, also did not happen. And he lost a great opportunity of being associated with a Brahmanishta. So he felt so restless that day, he rushed up the hill to meet Maharshi. When he went up the hill in the Skandashrama, Ramana Bhagavan was waiting for him. And from distance itself he says, Sundaresha, I was waiting for you. You know, today is the 100th day that you have not seen me. He has not kept the number, but Guru has kept the count. Guru has kept the count. He said, you took a decision not to see me, but today is the 100th day. And one more thing he added, you know, you felt you did not get anything by being with me, intimate with me, associating with me, but keeping away from me, now you have understood what you have lost. This is the spiritual secret, you know. When you are in this ashram, you will be saying, I am in the ashram, I am here working, but I am not attaining anything, not achieving anything. Because we think spirituality is something which we will attain or achieve, like making money or growing up in health. So you take a decision to go out and stay somewhere, then you will find something is lost. Something is lost. Then you understand some imperceptible thing is there in that satsanga. The value of satsanga you will know only when you don't get it. When you have it, you will feel nothing special. But you stay away from that, then you will find the vacuum. Something is lost. The Shastras say it as pratyavaya dosha. This pratyavaya dosha is known only when you don't do it. Every day you do some japa, some parayana, some discipline. You don't feel anything is got. But you leave it, then you find, oh, something is lost, something is lost. So this is the secret of spiritual life. You should stick to some discipline, some satsanga, and another thing also should be added. You should tell yourself, oh Bhagavan, I don't want anything. This is a mantra we have to learn. I don't want prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogadan. You just tell, sometimes you feel depressed. I am not able to meditate. Then you tell Bhagavan, if you give meditation, I will meditate. If you give me so much scattered thoughts, let the thoughts be there. I will not ask anything from you. I don't want anything from you. I will just serve you. If you tell this, suddenly you will find a lightness descending on you. Suddenly you find so light like a feather. Because desire makes you heavy. Doership makes you heavy. Enjoyership makes you heavy. The moment you feel, I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer, I don't want anything. I am just an instrument in his hand. Whatever he makes me do, I am doing. This body is his. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, tu naham tvam. I don't exist, Bhagavan, you alone exist. The moment you say, you will be free. This is the secret of bhakti. So satsangalabdhaya bhaktya mayimamsa upasita savaimes darshitam sadbihi anjasa vindate padam. Through satsanga one attains that state very, very, very simple, direct path. Great Mahatmas were born by simply having some service to a Mahatma, to some sage. Hence, Bhagavan here says, Uddhava, by being in satsanga, listening to the stories, singing divine bhajans, doing namajapa, also the mind becomes pure. When the mind is sufficiently pure, the sign of a pure mind is self-enquiry happens. Naturally, when the mind becomes pure, the inward attention turns towards one's own existence. What is within you as your own I. You feel fascinated to look at it. Your attention is absorbed in that consciousness. And the mind learns to stay in that Swarupa. This happens. Jnana naturally comes to them. These gopikas, they were all very great devotees of Krishna. When they associated with Krishna, they were thinking he is the son of Nanda Gopa. But later on they say, Nakalu Gopika Nandano Bhavan Akhila Dehinam Antaratma Drik. We know that you are not the son of Gopika. You are the witness, the pure awareness in the heart of all the beings. Akhila Dehinam Antaratma Drik. This knowledge happened to them by being close with Krishna. Hence Bhagavan says, Te nadhita shruti ganaha. They did not study Upanishads. Nopasita mahattamaha. They did not do much meditation, upasana or anything. Avrataha. They did not do any vrata. Atapta tapasaha. No austerity. Then how did they get you? Satsangan upagataha. They attained me only through satsanga. They attained me only through association with me and with my devotees. Kevalena hibhavena gopyo gavo naga mrigaha enye mudadhiyo nagaha siddha mamiyuhu anjasam yamna yogena sankhena danavrata tapodhvaraihi vyakya swadhyaya sannyasaihi prapnuyad yatnavanapi. The satsanga gives that greatest fruit of Bhagavad Anubhuti or Bhakti. As the surest path for attainment, in Narada Bhakti Sutra also, the last portion, Narada says, Mukyatastu Mahat Kripaiva Bhagavat Kripa Leshad Va. He brings out a question, how one can attain bhakti. And Narada says, the chief cause is Mahat Kripa, the grace of a Mahatma. Sometimes direct interference of the divine also gives you that state, but that is very rare. Bhagavat Kripa Leshad Va. Mukyatastu Mahat Kripaiva. You have to get the grace of saints. Even Gangaji came here to get satsanga. Bhagavata says, his Bhagirath did so much austerity. In many places he performed tapas, and he went to Swargaloka and invited Ganga. And when he invited Ganga, she said, if I come there, all kind of sinners will come and take bath. I am afraid I will not come. They will pollute my water. They will put me in bottle and sell. I will not come. Then Bhagirath thought about it, how to invite Gangaji here. Somehow we have to entice her to come to earth. So he told Divine Mother, you will get a great profit by coming to Bhumi, to earth, to Bharatavarsha. You will have the touch of all renouncing saints, devotees of God, and Brahmajnanis. They will come and take and dip their body in you. This you will not get if you stay in heaven. You will get this bhagyam only if you come to earth. Sadhavo Nyasinaha, Shantaha, Brahmishtaha, Lokapavanaha. Such people will come to you. Sadhavaha, they are all noble devotees. Nyasinaha, all renunciates. Shantaha, very peace, calm, tranquil sages. Brahmishtaha, they are Brahmanishtas. And their very presence purifies the earth. Lokapavanaha. Te snasyanti tirteshu. Teshvaste agabhidharihi. They will come and take a dip in your water, and in them the Lord Hari is there, and you will have the touch of such enlightened masters. If you want that, you come with me. And Gangaji followed Bhagiratha with so much delight, so much love. Thus we have her here. In Himalayas, up to Rishikesh, Haridwar, she has that. After that, she gets into human hand. But of course, she had that contact with sages in many, many places. Even just before merging back in the ocean, in Calcutta also, Sri Ramakrishna was on the Ganga bank. So everywhere in the Himalayas, everywhere in her banks there are ashrams. And she wanted that association of sages, that great sages. So this is the story here. So Satsanga. Even Ganga came here for Satsanga. All the great sages, they love Satsanga. Swami Shivanji Maharaj was a great lover of Satsanga. He wanted people to speak about God, chant the Nama, do Kirtana. And have bhakti, kolahala, everywhere. So he was always such a great enjoyer of satsanga. And only that can give us peace. Even if you cannot do anything, you be present in a place where there is satsanga. Even if nothing is going inside, you sit there, slowly the impact will be there. In a gentle way, a peace will seep into you, shanti will happen, bhakti will flower, atma jnana will happen. Mom, here comes two shlokas which is like a commentary for Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, that Gita shloka. Tasmat tvamuddhavotsrijya chodanam pratichodanam pravrittam cha nivrittam cha shrotavyam shrutameva cha mamekam sharanam atmanam sarvadehinam yahi sarvatma bhavena mayasyahi akuto bhayaha. Actually, this Ekadasha Skandha cannot be spoken in a big confluence. sadas. We need students who are ready to learn it. Only to them we can teach verse by verse, verse by verse. Because it's a Shastra. So we are touching some verse here, there and expounding them. And the next chapter we will continue. Uddhava here says, Bhagavan, even though I am listening to you, again doubt comes to me. When people used to ask doubt to Maharshi Ramana, he used to say, find out the doubter. Doubt the doubter. Who is having the doubt? I. And who is this I? If you inquire, the I is not real, then the doubter himself disappears, not the doubt. Otherwise you answer one doubt, another doubt will come. So just erase the doubter, no doubt. Further, no doubt will come. So, just like that, Krishna also says here, remove the Jiva Bhava, then there will be no doubt. You consider that the I is real. When you inquire what this I is, then you find that the I is not at all real. There is only an Akhanda Purna Vastu, an infinite truth, which is the same in everyone, in every body, everywhere. Then you will have that Sarvatma Bhava. That is freedom. We will continue tomorrow at the same time. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yato mamatma bhavasi tumeva tato navachyam kinchidasti yathataveshtam kurvam tathaiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhajami. Sarvatra govindanama sankirtanam Janaki Kanta Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Rama Hara Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadev.